Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, our Thursday started out with some active weather, mainly some sprinkles and cloudy conditions, but high pressure has set into the area, and we're seeing clear skies and a calm night. As you can see on the satellite and radar, not a whole lot of action throughout our night, with temperatures still pretty mild into the 50s in some areas, such as Mattoon at 51, 50 in Champaign, also down south in Effingham at 50, 53 in Taylorville, 47 in Paris, and 45 in Watsika. But these temperatures are going to be falling, a little bit chilly for us as we head into the early hours of our morning, around 38, around 6 a.m. for tomorrow morning. But we're going to be seeing a big warm up for your Friday and Saturday. But just how warm are we talking about? I'll have that answer coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
A missing woman was found dead. Now 2 men are facing charges in connection with her murder.
So now I don't get to see my twins graduate.
It's a tough outcome for parents and soon-to-be graduates in Illinois, as in-person graduation ceremonies across the state are canceled.
I was totally shocked that they came in mass like that.
And today would have been her retirement party, but COVID-19 changed that. How her coworkers helped her celebrate anyway.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
None of the options were now available.
The state has banned in-person graduation ceremonies of any kind because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The news came as a disappointment to students and their families. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. The state superintendent of schools said today schools cannot hold gatherings for graduation, period. It's part of abiding by the governor's stay-at-home order. It's left school leaders trying to come up with other ways to celebrate student achievements. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen has more.
Being handed a diploma at a graduation ceremony is a milestone in students' academic accomplishments. But much to the dismay of graduates and their families, that's likely not going to happen for now.
The state of Illinois will not allow any graduations person to person.
Tammy Boyd's sons were set to walk across the stage and graduate from Monticello High School. The stay-at-home order has been extended to May 30th, and the state has ordered all districts to cancel in-person ceremonies. That includes drive-through graduations, where students could pull up and get their diplomas handed to them in their cars. Superintendent Vic Zimmerman says the state hasn't given them a time limit for how long the graduation ceremony ban will last.
The only thing we can do is delay it, hope there's a change, and then if there's no change, it's going to have to be virtual.
Boyd was in tears because her son leaves to serve this country in the National Guard on June 1st. Since the graduation ceremony has been delayed, he won't be able to attend alongside his brother.
So now I don't get to see my twins graduate.
State leaders' intent is to prevent people from gathering and spreading coronavirus. But Boyd has a problem with how the restrictions have been implemented.
I'm not okay with you going to McDonald's through the drive-through and he doesn't get his diploma. I'm not okay with you being able to go to Walmart with 100 people, but he doesn't get to get his diploma.
For now, the Monticello School District is sticking with the plan to hold a graduation ceremony in June.
We're planning on the 13th or 14th for in-person graduation, hopefully with small groups like our most recent plan, if allowed by Governor Pritzker.
Reporting, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Other districts are also changing graduation plans. Decatur Public School leaders announced the postponement of traditional in-person graduation ceremonies for Eisenhower and MacArthur high schools until July 25th. The district hopes to hold these ceremonies at that time, but is waiting on guidance, of course, from the state. A reminder, part of the governor's modified executive order for the state that starts tomorrow means you'll have to wear a mask in public if you can't social distance. Businesses are allowed to turn you away if you aren't wearing one. The masks can be anything that covers your mouth and nose. But the executive orders are facing backlash from lawmakers. All 5 Republicans in Congress from Illinois asked the governor to make changes before his next order takes place tomorrow. Governor Pritzker is facing a rising number of legal challenges. One of the most recent, filed in Stevenson County, is from a church. The argument is the governor lacks the power to ban public church services from gathering. The governor was asked today how far he was willing to go to enforce that order.
Nobody's going to, run in and break up a gathering of churchgoers at that moment. But I will tell you that there are consequences. Of course, the state has the ability to enforce orders, but we've been looking to people to do the right thing, and they should do the right thing. And I think the parishioners, by the way, ought to do the right thing and ask those who are faith leaders either not to hold those services or simply ask that they have something online that they can connect to rather than the potential for being infected.
The governor, again, appears sensitive to the difficulty here. A number of local law enforcement agencies have started to say they will refuse to enforce the governor's order. A look now at coronavirus numbers in Illinois. Across the state, more than 2,300 people have been killed by COVID-19. 141 were killed by the contagion in the past 24 hours alone. More than 2,500 more people tested positive in the last day. The total number of cases in Illinois is now at nearly 53,000. HSHS Medical Group is joining many places across the state furloughing employees. There are nearly 120 locations across central and southern Illinois. The medical group is letting employees volunteer for furlough, but others won't have a choice. We reached out for more information about which departments will be facing furloughs and if or how it will impact patients. HSHS declined comment. Now for an update on a case of a missing woman. 2 men have been charged with her murder after her body was found yesterday in rural Beecher City. Kimberly Mattingly had been missing since early this month. Christopher Glass of Mason is charged with her murder. Aaron Kaiser of Beecher City is charged with concealing a homicide. The National Missing Persons Network was involved in the case. It deals with the families of people who have disappeared and says Glass, who's charged with murder, had an off-and-on relationship with Mattingly. State police have not said how she was killed.
They've been under the assumption that this is what was going to be the final outcome. But I guess the best way to put it is there's never a way to embrace what you already know.
Kaiser and Glass are both being held in the Effingham County Jail. They're expected in court tomorrow morning. One man was airlifted to the hospital this morning after being shot near the Eastern Illinois campus in Charleston. Happened at an apartment building by 9th and Edgar Drive. Our crew at the scene saw police taking pictures and collecting evidence inside and outside the apartment unit. They haven't made any arrests, but say they've spoken to everyone involved. Also in Coles County, authorities are searching for a group of people who vandalized an historic building. The sheriff's office released surveillance video. Take a look at your screen there, showing at least 6 people walking through Ashmore Estates in the middle of the night. They're accused of damaging the building as well as a car parked there. Investigators believe it happened around April 12th. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers. Champaign police are looking for a suspect in an armed robbery, an attempted robbery rather. It happened at the Circle K at Madison Sangamon Drive yesterday morning. Police say the suspect walked into the gas station and demanded money from the clerk. They say he didn't get any money. No one was hurt. If you know anything about what happened, call police. New at 10, one person was taken to the hospital after a 2-car crash tonight. It happened near East University Avenue and Guardian Drive in Urbana. Police say a Jeep disobeyed the red light and collided with a car that was turning onto University Avenue. The Jeep was flipped onto its top. You can see it right there. The person was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. The driver of the Jeep was ticketed for not obeying the light. COVID-19 got into the way of the plans for one woman's retirement party. How her coworkers came up with a backup. Plus, college students still have one exam left to take to be able to teach, but coronavirus put that on hold. How that won't stop them from starting their careers. And it's good news for Illini football, who's committed to the team.